Hey, what's up, guys? It's Tom from the Grain Area here. If you don't know me, I am the owner, writer, editor, photographer, and pretty much everything else of thegrainarea.com. It's a men's lifestyle website for guys who don't suck. Check it out if you have a second. So listen, it's getting really nice here in New York, and usually New York's pretty shitty on the weather end, so if it's getting nice here, it's probably getting nice where you are. With the nicer weather, it's an opportunity for you guys to get out, maybe learn some new badass skills. Now here's the thing. This video, I'm gonna film it, I'm gonna edit it, I'm gonna publish it and whatever. But the thing is this, is that if you're looking for motivation to do something new, I'm not gonna give it to you. In fact, last week I posted a video about how guys need to be their own motivation. I don't know if I know how to do it, but look, if I can point to it and I can put the thing there, maybe you check it out there. But so here's the deal, I'm not gonna give you motivation. This video is only for inspiration, so it's a couple of fresh new ideas, badass skills that you can learn this spring that you might not have thought of. So other than that, it's up to you. Let's get into it. Okay, so the first badass skill you guys can learn this spring, photography. I know what you're thinking. I don't want to take pictures of flowers and sunsets. You don't have to. If you learn how to use a camera, it doesn't even have to be like a really, really good camera. Mine's not that expensive. You can take pictures of like whatever you want. You could do sports, you could do cars. I used to love taking pictures of cars. I used to go to car shows and shoot them. I used to go, I was in a car club and I would meet up with people and we'd do cool shots and tunnels and cool backgrounds and things like that. I'm telling you, photography is a badass skill to learn. Check it out this spring. All right, the next badass skill you can learn this spring is knife and hatchet throwing. Look, I'm sure you've probably seen The Patriot, but that scene where Mel Gibson rears back and lets that hatchet fly is probably the most badass cinematic scene I've ever seen. Knife and hatchet throw, it's badass. You can't argue with that. I mean, you don't have to put on like all kinds of colonial garb and like buckskin, but you could still be pretty cool throwing a hatchet. And here's the thing, it's not that hard to learn. If you set up your target and you're consistent on your spacing and you're consistent on your throw, you'll start landing hatchet throws, I promise. So it's getting nice out, set up a target. I've got an article on my website where you can check it out, how to do it yourself, how to space it all out, and it's a badass skill you can learn this spring. Along with knife and hatchet throwing, one of the most badass skills you can learn is archery. I know that like a few years ago, the Hunger Games was everything and like little girls learned to shoot bows and arrows, and I think that's really cool. But I think that because of that, a lot of guys kind of stepped away from the sport. But then you got guys like Joe Rogan and Cam Hanes talking about it and, you know, taking 175-yard shots at elk. It's pretty badass, you know, on its own. But anyway, archery's awesome. I used to hunt. I don't hunt as much as I used to, but I love to shoot a bow. And here's the thing about it. As long as you're not splitting your arrows because you're too damn good, as long as you're not splitting your arrows, you can shoot over and over and over again. It's not like with a firearm where you gotta, you know, reload or buy more ammo. But if you're firing a bow, you can go down and get your arrow afterwards. So once you're set up, it's not that expensive. But check out archery this spring. It's a badass skill. All right, guys, probably the most badass skill you can learn, building a fire. Dude, how many times have you seen somebody try to build a fire and it's like freaking embarrassing? They have no idea what they're doing and they tell you it's some type of freaking technique that they learned, but the reality is they've got no friggin' clue and they're just piling sticks in the middle of a fire pit. That's not cool. Let's learn how to do it. There are different techniques that you can use, and I will post some links to some articles about it in the bottom below. Check them out. You'll learn how to build a fire, and next thing you know, you're a hero when everybody's cold this summer, some type of bonfire event. You look like the man, and your kids look up to you and they think you're cool. And that's never going to happen again, so you might as well take advantage of it now by learning how to build a fire. All right, this one's like a little bit of a stretch, but honestly, it's pretty badass, especially when it's all done. Learning how to build something, learning carpentry. This spring, if you get outside with your tools and you start learning how to build things, it is a badass skill that will never leave you. You'll be able to save money. You'll be able to build structures that your wife's looking for you to build furniture, whatever it is. There's something really badass about somebody coming over to your house, sitting down on a bench, and then somebody's saying, hey, yeah, is this the bench you built? and you get to surprise them with the fact that you put your blood, sweat, and tears into that bench and built it, and it's supporting their fat ass, and that's pretty sweet. So, carpentry, badass skill to learn this spring. Alright guys, one of my favorite badass skills to learn, and it's probably the one I'm the shittiest at, is car racing. Now, you might think you're a good driver, right? You think you've got some kind of skills because you can park your wife's Sienna in the crack of your ass in the mall parking lot. But the reality is this, until you get on a course and you compare yourself with other people who actually have skills, you have no idea how good you are. But how do you get into car racing? It seems kind of cost prohibitive, right? Who here has $500,000 for a race car? The reality is you can get into car racing for very little money and probably with the vehicle that you have. If you check, I think it's probably the Sports Car Association of the US. I'll put a link in the bottom. If you check that out, there's all kinds of autocross events where they set up cones in parking lots in areas near you, and you can drive whatever car you have. You can drive your Corolla on it, and you just drive it like a bat out of hell and try to keep it inside the cones, and you'll learn after each pass what you're doing wrong. By the time you're at the end of the course, you'll have a whole new badass skill set that you didn't even think was possible, or you didn't know you were missing because you probably think you're a better driver than you actually are. Alright guys, so the last badass skill I'm going to share with you is not necessarily a skill to learn, but one that you can probably pass on to somebody else. If you have a badass skill set, one of the best things you can do with it is teach somebody else how to do it. Right now, I'm the director of my kids' baseball league up here, and it's been very busy, and I've been having a hard time getting coaches to coach certain divisions. And that sucks because I want to see these kids play baseball. But what I'm saying to you is that if you know how, if you've got any type of skill set, try teaching somebody else. If you played ball in school, sign up for the Little League and coach. I'm sure they're hurting for coaches. Alright guys, so that's it. That's what I have for you today. I'm telling you, this spring is a great time for you to get out there and learn something new, become more badass, level up your skill set. You know, and the weather's great, so you might as well get outside anyway, get some exercise. So check out these badass skills that I just talked about, and you might enjoy yourself. Here's the other thing. I posted an article on the Grain Area a while ago about badass skills that you can learn. Some of these skills are on there. There's a whole bunch of others. So if you don't mind, go head over to thegrainarea.com. Check out that article, Badass Skills to Learn. And hey, sign up for my newsletter because I'm be sending out newsletters more often, keeping people updated about new videos or whatever else I have to offer. So just make sure you're not going to miss it by signing up for the newsletter. Oh, and like and subscribe. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.